When I go to these opening night screenings, they usually say, here, have a free poster. This time, there were 5 posters, but you're only allowed to take 1. Well, that's bullshit. I took 2. Avengers Infinity War. Look at the size of my hand. This is a spoiler-free review. If you want spoilers, check back in a few days while I'll do a video that goes into a bit more depth. Until then, Thanos demands my silence. I mean, not total silence, because that would be a rather boring video. Before we got to where we are now, there are more than 70 characters in 18 movies over 10 years in about 8 separate little franchises that, much like the Power Rangers, finally joined together into one, like some sort of blockbuster franchise megazord. And all of that on the shoulders of 2 directors, the Russo brothers. This is their 3rd film for the MCU and the 19th for the MCU as a whole. That's crazy. There's no denying that this is a highly anticipated movie. And will it put a smile on your face? Yes. A big yes. Yes times 1,000. Yes times infinity.
I think it's good, except it sucks.
This was one of those rare occasions where the hype was real and the payoff was incredibly worth the wait. I had high expectations and they were all met. Infinity War is fan service, but I mean that in a good way. We finally hit a point in the MCU where we're no longer thinking, what does this mean for a character in a future movie? We're thinking, what does this mean for them now? And can you watch Avengers Infinity War without having seen the previous 18 movies? No. At least, not really. This is not a film which you can just dip into. Yeah, there's some dialogue that hints to what's happened before, but nothing is laid out for newcomers. This film is all about rewarding those who have stuck with the story since 2008. There are a lot of characters, so some things are sacrificed in order to make it work. For example, character development. There is none. All of the personalities that you've come to know and love over the past 10 years are exactly where they need to be. Who they are at the beginning is who they are at the end. No one does any real soul searching. Soul stone searching, however. Some characters have a big presence, others not so much. There's some real main players in the MCU that only get about 2 or 3 lines in this 2.5-hour epic, but at the same time, you never feel shortchanged. And once all the characters start to meet and mingle, that's when the sparks really start to fly. And it's not always what you expect. There are some characters that interact in a way that you never realised you wanted them to have a conversation with each other in the first place, but you're so glad that they did. But what about the villain? Thanos. Well, if you've been a fan of Thanos and what he's done in the previous MCU movies, then you will not be disappointed. He does sit down at least once in this film. And despite looking like a Hall of Mirrors Bruce Willis that's held his breath for too long, Thanos is a genuine threat. From the first moment he appears on screen, you're left with no doubt that he is to be taken seriously. The Russo brothers have said in interviews that they consider Thanos to be the lead of this film, and I'd have to agree. I mean, I don't have to, but I do. He's got a reasonable backstory and a motive that's completely psychopathic, but makes terrifying sense. The CGI on Thanos is impressive. It's not perfect, but mostly quite good. Certainly better than Steppenwolf in Justice League, which is a shame it can't also be said for Thanos' minions, the Black Order, or the children of Thanos. I mean, they're so evil, they name them twice. This little team of the Black Order is a little less impressive when it comes to the CGI. Don't get me wrong, they are threatening and adequate characters for what's required of them. But you do wonder if they would have been better served as real actors in makeup rather than just a team of lesser Steppenwolves. That being said, they definitely have more substance than your average henchman in a comic book movie. I'm not going to get into any story beats because I think you should go into this film fresh. But it is pleasing to see that everyone in this does have a part to play. The thing that fascinated me the most was how they were going to include the Guardians of the Galaxy, because the Guardians of the Galaxy are the most stylistically unique compared to the rest of the MCU. They are very much a James Gunn flavour, and that's all present and correct here. But when things do get serious, and believe me, they do get serious, it's interesting to see the Guardians cast be a part of that drama. But it's not all serious. When it's funny, it's really funny. The jokes here are spot on and really ease a lot of the tension. Stephen McFeely and Christopher Marcus have done a solid script. Action, humour, drama, as Thanos himself would say,
perfectly balanced.
I've got to mention the score as well, because the score is fantastic and possibly the best use of the main Avengers theme I've ever seen. When it happens, you'll know what I mean. Great work, Alan Silvestri. Overall, I'm going to rate this a 9 out of 10. Yes, I'm going to watch it on TV. Yes, I'm going to stream it on a VOD site. And yes, I'm going to buy it. One thing that did disappoint me about this film was, much like Justice League, there were shots in the trailer that didn't make the final cut of the movie. And I don't think there's going to be a director's cut. Them's the breaks. I'm going to leave it a few days before I do a spoiler talk video. Want to let some people catch up and not risk ruining it for anyone. But have you had a chance to see Infinity War yet? What did you think? Comment with your thoughts below. Keep it spoiler free. And while you're down there, hit subscribe and like the video. Give it a share on Facebook and Twitter. And if you can, please donate to the coffee link also in the description. Thanks for watching Matt Blair Reviews. I'll see you again next time.